Hello! In this video, I'm going to try something different. Not that different. I did do a Sunday reset, but I'm doing a monthly reset video this time. So it's a March reset video, technically. I mean, am I resetting February or am I resetting for March? I get caught up on those little details, but I'm going to call this a March reset because we are resetting for March. We're planning for March. So I don't think my process is that complicated, but this video might be a little long because I might be explaining things for the first time, but I do plan on doing this monthly, making this kind of video monthly, because I do this anyway. I do it off camera. It's going to be less structured and linear than this. I don't always do it in one day in one sitting, but I'm doing it for the sake of showing you on camera. So basically, I just have this book here because it has my quarterly goals. So I'm just going to dive into it. I don't actually have a clear plan for this video. I'm just going to work through it the way I would do it normally off camera, but I have my quarterly plan here and I've never done it before, but I'm going to attempt to say, if you want to watch the video where I set up this planner, you can click the cards, the video in the cards. No idea what I'm doing. It's been used on YouTube and I still don't know, but if I can't figure it out, it'll be in the description. But I put my goals for the quarter just on post-it notes, just in case I want to move things around, and then I will write it in later. This is not a foolproof structure. This is just kind of what I'm trialing and what I've been using, but we are on track because I have a shop update next month, which I am kind of preparing for, but I am aiming to have it next month. I have not set up the second studio, but that will likely take a bit longer because I didn't really clearly define what set up means, because I have plans to add an extra table, bookshelves, an extra couch in there for podcast recording, but that's all kind of costly. So I think this one's okay to just like scrap and maybe just say tidy up the second studio, because yes, I will plan on tidying up the second studio next month. So on track for that. Unplanned podcast interview, I think I will be on track to doing that next month as well. To be determined. If not an interview, then just another episode at least. Sell old printer. So technically I have listed it, but no one's buying it. So I don't know if I just want to be nice to myself and just tick it off. Like, it's not my problem anymore. I've already listed it. It's out of my control whether or not someone buys it. Let me move this up a little bit more. But what I do generally for my monthly plan is just review the previous month, see what I've done, whether I'm on track for these goals, and then use that to plan the next month. So I have ripped my month calendar off the wall, again printed on scrap piece of paper. And as you can see, I plan to do the YouTube video for this week. I'm gonna rip that off. What I do normally always do, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place, but what I normally do for the last day of the month is also monthly stats, where I write down how many followers and how many subscribers I have. But again, since I'm doing this on the second last day of the month, I won't do this until tomorrow. But I just want to point out that that is also what I fill out on the last day of the month. But this was on the wall, so I didn't actually tick any of these off. I can tick off order washi tape. I did do that. Seconds bundles, technically, no, I haven't done yet. I did update this. No, I have not done that, and I'm not going to do that this month. Update packaging, no, that's also to be determined. I don't know if I can fit this in on the very last day, just so I can tick it off, but we'll see, and I'll leave that for now. I really like having this on the wall just to reference, like, okay, what's the next week looking like, so that I can structure my to-dos around those key tasks. These tasks are mostly just Patreon tasks, and then as you saw, I use a post-it note to plan my, why do I have an ink stain? Where is that from? I forgot what I said. Oh yeah, I use the post-it notes to plan my YouTube videos, but this is repetitive. Like, I also have this digitally on my calendar, but I already pre-planned this all in Canva, and that sounds weird, but I have a monthly calendar template on Canva, which I will show you. I don't know why, it's just fun to use. It's not the most practical, but I do like how with Canva you can drag and drop things. So last year, December, which is very organized for me, I pretty much planned out the entire year of content and just making sure I've got dates for when I'm traveling so I can plan around that. And it's not like a hard and fast rule. I can change this whenever I want, but it just gave me a really good picture of what my months will look like, and it helped me to plan out certain YouTube videos, for example, that I know are time sensitive and I want to get done in that month. Again, this may or may not happen. It's just a plan to make it easier for my future self. So again, with the March calendar, I'm likely going to I've printed off the March calendar. This is technically upside down. I had hoped it'd be like this with a crinkled edge on the bottom. Like, I never remember which way my printer spits out the thing. So yes, it's upside down, but that's fine. This is my March printable calendar from my Patreon. It's available for all tiers. So if you join the lowest tier, you can get this printable calendar. But again, I'm just going to fill this in based on this calendar and then stick it on my wall. And then I will put my goals, my main goals for the month, in this section. So I think I'm going to start with that. But because I've planned everything ahead of time, this makes it just so much easier and so much faster. And again, it's just a guide. I don't have to stick to this, but it just is a starting point. So I'm not going to use the iPad. I'm going to load it up on my computer so I don't take up too much desk space. But I wanted to show you that this is what I'm going to be looking at on my computer in order to fill out this month calendar. So I'm going to fill this out, and then I guess we'll come back and talk about how February went for me and how I want to approach March. Okay, let's do that. Let's move all of this stuff out of the way. Full disclaimer, my desk is so messy right now because I'm in the middle of packing an order. So there's just stuff right next to me. It's been clean for a really long time, but when I pack an order and I restock things, it always gets out of hand. So I just wanted to have a full disclaimer that oh yes, this part of the table is very clean, but the rest is an absolute nightmare. But let's set up the month calendar for next month. That is it, I think. So if you can tell, maybe you can't read my writing, but these are just Patreon tasks. So every Monday I post a weekly update for Insider and Workshop patrons. Every 2 weeks I record a podcast episode, and then I'm posting the sticker club here. The printable I post in the previous month, so here at the end of the month I post the next month printable, which is the calendar. The calendar is the printable. I have a business check-in with my workshop patrons every month. I also have a call here with another group of people I made up with, which is a club call. So I'm just going to write that in there. A club call. And then because it's the end of quarter one, I send out the quarterly check-in for my workshop patrons. And then the last day of the month, I aim to post the newsletter for the upcoming month, which is the content schedule and the rewards that you get. I haven't written in early access shop update and shop update. So the tentative dates are the 8th and the 15th. And that's because I've ordered washi tapes, but there was a delay in the process and I don't think it's going to come in time. So I may need to move the shop update dates. Hopefully it's still somewhat around this date, but I'm not going to put it in yet just in case. I'm pretty sure I will have to move it. With the goals for March, I'm not too sure yet, but this is where I will refer to my quarterly plan. because I've already forgotten, even though I just told you what I wanted to do. Oh yes, tidy second studio and do an unplanned podcast interview. So I'm going to write that. As you saw, I'm not too fast if I can't do something, but it's just good there to see as a reminder, because I will look up daily and I will look at this calendar, and it's just a really good reminder of, oh yeah, I did say I wanted to do that. So I will write unplanned interview, and then tidy second studio. I don't know what to call it. Sometimes I call it second bedroom, second studio. Just calling that for now. And that's pretty much it on this list. Like, I can't really control the sell old printer thing. So the only other thing is that I know I have a market coming up in April, which is in Melbourne, and it's like the first week of April, so I need to prepare for that market. That's going to be like the rest of the month. So once the shop update is over, I know I will be pretty much just stocking non-stop for that. So prep for market. And also something exciting is that I'm planning to do a journal workshop in that same week. I'm in Melbourne as well. I'm trialing it in Melbourne for the first time. I don't know why, it just seems less scary than doing it in Sydney from where I'm from. So I'm trialing it in Melbourne. So I guess I need to finalize my workshop details and just make sure I promote the workshop and I sell the ticket. So what do I write there? Finalize workshop, prep for work. I think prep for workshop. But see, the thing is, so I'm very particular about writing down certain goals. Prep for workshop involves so many different things, but that's okay because I can break that down somewhere else. But basically, I will just write that as a very big goal. But prep for workshop involves much, much more than just ticking off one thing. And really, this is when I would go into my messy book, my messy commonplace scribble book, and I would just write, I've actually already gotten a to-do list here, but you know, research cafes, post an expression of interest on IG, make the product page on Squarespace. I need to add it to the newsletter, which is to promote the shop update. But then I need to design exclusive sticker, make a playlist for the workshop, add it to my website homepage. I need to do a few other things, but this is what prep for workshop is. It's a much bigger list than that. I still need to expand on this a little bit more, but I do have the to-do there. What else? Let me look at February and see if there's anything else I need to update. So this is where I kind of close out the month as well and prepare. So I'm going to fill this out as well. Currently enjoying and struggling with. But my to-do list for February was an unplanned podcast episode, which I didn't do that. But that's fine. I knew I wouldn't be able to do that. So I'm just going to cross it off. Yes, cross it off. I did order washi tapes. I did move all of the... I didn't even know I did it this month, but I did finish doing that. I did finish editing the Japan vlogs, which is very, very satisfying that is done because that was on the to-do list for months, like 8 months. But my priorities were to prepare for the shop update, which kind of, not really, that wasn't my main priority for this month. Refresh packaging, and I still haven't even done that, and edit the Japan vlogs. And I guess now I have to figure out 3 priorities for the month, and they're kind of related to this. So I want to say prep for market and prep for workshop is definitely a priority. Prep for market. Prep for workshop. What's my 3rd priority? So when I don't know what else would be a priority, I feel like these 2 are already kind of big, but just because I have 3 here, I want to fill something up. I'm going to check my quarterly thing again to see if there's anything I can take from the next quarter. No, not really. Oh, don't forget to also check your yearly goals. My quarterly goals are based on my yearly goals, so I don't check that as often. So as you can see, it's still kind of based off the same thing, like PE tapes and rubber stamps. They're there as well. 5 unplanned podcast episodes. That is fine. What can I do? Set up second bedroom. So that was actually, so here I've actually written set up second bedroom. So that was a big goal, but I underestimated how long that would take. But I am taking steps towards this yearly goal by just adding that as a goal for this month to tidy the second studio. So that is great. The whole point of setting these goals and preparing for the month is to make sure that the goals that I'm setting for myself in the month get me closer to my yearly goals, because I've already done the work of identifying that these are the important goals that I want to focus on this year. So I want to make sure that everything I'm doing in the daily is all aligned with my yearly goals, and that trickles down into the quarterly and the monthly and the weekly. But what I can do, I don't want to overload myself because I feel like the market and the workshop are quite intensive already. So I might leave it at that and just write unplanned podcast interview. Did I not write? No, I didn't write it there. I might write unplanned interview because that is a pretty big task as well. I'm not sure if I will have time for that, but I would like to work towards maybe getting that done. Unplanned interview. Here I'm looking forward to new washi tapes, but they still haven't even arrived and there's only 1 day left of February. So yeah, that was delayed much longer than I thought. Looking forward to, in March, I'm looking forward to going to Melbourne, aka just like traveling again. Going to Melbourne. I mean, technically that should be an April goal, right? Like I'm looking forward to it a month before it even happens, but that's fine. I'm allowed to write that. I'm actually not sure what else to put, so I'm gonna leave that because March is really just like a prepping month for April. So my mind is in April. That's why I wrote going to Melbourne, but that's not happening until April. So I might just leave that for now. Like I don't mind filling this out during the month. I'm pretty sure with these ones I filled it out during the month. The to-do list, I think I can add a few things. So I didn't write tidy second studio in here, so I can write it in my to-do list. Set up, no, tidy second studio. Also finalize journaling workshops. That's kind of the same thing as prep for workshop, but I just feel like writing it in here. Finalize journaling workshops. Again, I can't really think of anything else because I feel like prepping for the market, which is just restocking and not that exciting, and prepping for the journaling workshops are going to take up most of the month. Let me zoom back out a little bit. But I think that is all for that. So that's fairly easy. But what am I currently enjoying? And what am I struggling with? So struggling with is definitely memo pads. It's something that I've been struggling with recently because I've been trying to pack an order that has ordered a lot of memo pads, which I'm so grateful for. It was a huge order. But I still hand make a lot of memo pads and it takes a really, really long time. And the goal is to outsource them eventually. But I have since put them out of stock now. Oh my God, I just realized I wasn't recording with the microphone this whole time. I do that all the time. So I'm really sorry for the crappy audio in the beginning. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but hopefully now it's switched to the nice audio. I was struggling with hand making memo pads, which really slows down the packing process. So I have since put those out of stock. So that should hopefully save me a lot of time. But yes, I was struggling with memo pads, have put out of stock. I'm currently enjoying writing on my typewriter. I have it next to me on my table, so it's really nice to just like when I have a thought that my brain just keeps dwelling on, it's nice to put the typewriter here and just like hash it out, just really get it out of my brain and onto paper. In January, I wrote media that I was currently enjoying. I don't think there's any really media that, oh yeah, so no, that's a lie. I am enjoying You might laugh at this if you know, but I have been enjoying Carrie Lake books. I feel like I'm exposing myself right now. I am planning to do like an update on my books that I've read in 2024 soon, because I can fill out a page now. I can fit 16 on a page. I just wanted to wait until I could fill out a whole page so that I could make sure the layout was consistent. But one of my patrons, Savannah, got me onto Carrie Lake books, and there's definitely a pattern in her books. I definitely enjoyed the first few that I read. I took a break because it all ended up being the same, but I definitely was enjoying the Nocticardia book. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. Nocticardia by Carrie Lake. There are some serious trigger warnings in this book, so just please look out for that before you do read it. It is a dark romance, so be warned if you don't like that. But when I do the update on my books that I've read in 2024, I will expose my reading style. If you don't already follow me on Patreon, like I post every month the books that I've read. It's a public post. It's free, so you can follow me to see that every month in your inbox if you would like. But if you don't know what I read, you shall soon find out. I did really enjoy that. Do I want to write a song? I feel like it's kind of cute to be like, oh, I really liked this song in January. I still like the song, but definitely I was playing it a lot in January. I think this month the song that I've been playing a lot is one of Usher's new songs. It's called Ruin by Usher. It's also featuring another artist, but I'm just gonna put Usher. That is a great song. My husband does not like that song. He thinks it's very repetitive. But yeah, that was my month basically. So I guess let's talk about how the month went. It was quite an eventful month. I think I left the house quite a lot. And that's funny because I don't actually really leave the house, but this Friday, where is it? This Friday, we're here right now. I'm going to go to the city for the Travellers Company's stamp caravan. They're doing one again in Sydney. It started technically on Tuesday, but my husband wanted to go with me, so we're going on the Friday. And last Friday, we were also in the city to celebrate his birthday. And then the week before that, we went out for dinner as well. And then the week before that, I'm pretty sure we're in the city. Was it on the 10th? I think it was on the 10th. And that is very out of the ordinary for us. We hardly ever go to the city. So the fact that we went almost like 4 weeks in a row is kind of crazy, but it's been really nice. We're both perfectly happy to be at home. We're homebodies, but we also equally love going out and exploring and eating. And that's just our travel side. In terms of work, I feel like I was very much on the ball with a lot of Patreon stuff. Nothing really got delayed. I would say with the shop update preparation, that definitely got delayed. And I'm trying to think now why I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be in this past month. Oh, of course, because I was planning for the journal workshop, which was a very impromptu decision, very spontaneous, and I didn't expect it to happen. But I suddenly decided that I wanted to plan a journaling workshop for April. So that took up pretty much these 2 weeks, and so shop update planning kind of fell to the wayside, but that's okay. That's why I always say my month plans are a guide so that I can make room for new ideas and new projects like that. I don't want to be a person that gets, like, I used to be someone that is very severely disappointed when plans change. I just feel like really overwhelmed. It's the control freak in me where I need to have a clear plan to stick to, and I get really flustered when plans change. I would like to say I'm a little bit more chill now. My husband might laugh at that, but I'm a little bit more chill now, and I'm a little bit more flexible with my plans, and I most certainly do not beat myself up. I don't think I've ever really been harsh on myself like that. I do practice self-care and self-love even when it comes to productivity, and so my philosophy is always like, set the plans, set ambitious goals and to-dos and projects, but it's fine. It's fine if you don't get it done. There's always next time. As long as you did your best and you're happy with it. I did not plan to go to the city that many times, so yes, I probably lost a few hours and lost a day here and there, but did I have fun? Yes. And so it's not a problem. I don't mind. I love making equal time for well, maybe not equal, but I love making time for work and play. I think it's really important to be able to, it's kind of relevant to the quote. Don't forget to also make the time to clear your mind and rest your body. I'm a very big advocate for, yes, working hard, but also clearing your mind and resting your body and doing the things that help you recharge. But I think that's all for the month. That is pretty simple. Again, this looks empty because shop updates are meant to be on this day. I'm just not sure yet if it is going to be on the day, so I'm leaving open. I know that it's meant to be there, so I don't need to put a post-it note or anything. But now what I do, once I figured out the month plan, is now I break it down into the week so that by the time I get to the week, I know exactly what I need to do. It's pretty much breaking down these big things into week tasks. Because yes, I want to do an unplanned podcast episode interview, but when do I contact my guest? When do I confirm the questions? When do I film it? When do I record it? When do I edit it? So it's a matter of breaking down these tasks into much more manageable chunks, and that's how you will actually achieve your goals. And I'm very passionate about that, but you cannot just have one big goal that has multiple steps to it and then just expect yourself to do it somehow, like find time for it. Because I know myself very well, and I know if I don't schedule it in or don't break it down, I'm going to overestimate the time that I have to get that thing done. So I have to kind of like fight my brain always. Like I'm very time blind. I feel like I used to be a person that was always late because, as my husband would say, sorry, I've like name dropped my husband so many times, but I always think I have more time and I don't realize how long things take me. So that is my chronic problem. But I would like to say I'm not actually a late person anymore. And again, that's because of my husband, who is always chronically on time. But I have applied that to my productivity by making sure that I know exactly what tasks are involved in completing something so that I can schedule it properly. But I think what we're going to do now is plan out the YouTube videos. So I put it on post-it notes like I showed you before. These are the post-it notes from like last week and other things. And I know it's extra, but I keep them because it's blank on the back so I can reuse it. So I just fold over the sticky part. Wait, this one already says unplanned interview because I had planned it for last month, but I didn't actually do it, so I can reuse this. I can't do it here, obviously, because I need to contact my guests and schedule up a meeting, but I will potentially do it here because the last month I want to do the plan with me. Oops. Although, if I want to film the plan with me on the last day, like I said, and update my stats, that might be the first week of April instead. So I might leave that for now. This is not very sticky, that's all right. Unplanned podcast interview. I don't want to block Herbie's face. All right, you can be there. Unplanned interview, and that's going to be the video. So I need to break down the month into the week views. I think if I redid this view, I might make it white. I can't though, it's A5. I might get rid of this and add a week view. Not everyone can use that though, it's fine. I just like breaking down the months into weeks so that I can see what task is priority for that particular week. Because yes, you have your goals, but they're not week dependent, which again, if it doesn't have a specific time, it's going to be a lot harder to get it done. I am overdue for a studio vlog, so I may do that. This week doesn't need a video because it's the plan with me week, so I might do studio vlog next week. Oops. This one's not sticky, so I'm just putting a sticky tape down. Live archives flip through, I've already done. Let me fold it over. So I actually plan my week. No, sorry. I'm not focusing. I actually plan my YouTube videos in Notion. I don't know if you're interested in seeing that. I might do an unplanned podcast episode on how I plan my content. My Notion is not exciting. It's not very glamorous. I've just set it up to the point where it works for what I need. I do like making it pretty, but I don't focus so heavily on it. And like, it's not ugly, it's just a little messy. It's not its full potential, you know, it's not its best self, but it does the job. So I can definitely show you that, but like, don't expect to be like wowed by my template, because yeah, I spend more time setting it up and making sure it works rather than it just being aesthetic. I mean, I would love for it to be aesthetic, but just don't make the time for it. So let me check my Notion to see what content I have planned out. So I've pretty much planned out the skeleton of my YouTube content for YouTube. What did I say? The skeleton of my content, my YouTube content. So I have a vague idea of when I want to post. So studio vlog, yes. Unplanned podcast interview, yes. In April, I know I'm going to do the Plan with me in the first week of April probably, and then I will definitely do a market vlog from when I get back after I do that market. So I actually have 2 blank weeks for posting, and I have it in April, but I might move it to March, a Midori flip through. So I have been working through this, and I filled out a couple of days, but I guess I could do a flip through. I think it's too early right now. I want to fill out a bit more pages before. I mean, that looks like a lot of pages, but I feel like you've already seen a little bit of it. I don't know. I might wait 1 more month, but if you want to see it, let me know. Otherwise, yes, I will wait another month to do a Midori flip through. I might do a studio tour. Maybe. So again, this is why having like a master list or a backlog of content ideas is helpful, because when I don't know what I want to do, I can see if I can move something up. I do have a bunch of journaling clips I want to do that might not fit in this studio vlog, so I might do a journal catch-up video, because like I said, I wanted to update the books that I've read in 2024 so far, so it could just be a journal catch up. I need a better name for that, but in my head I know what that means, and I think I will leave that for now, the very last week, because I'm not sure. Like, I would do a studio tour, but it might get really messy because I'm preparing for the market and I don't want to stress myself out by trying to keep it clean. So maybe I'll do a studio tour in April. But that is the tentative plan for now, and these things are not sticking down, which is annoying, but that should be good enough. And if my washi tape is still sticky, I might just take this off. I used this in January and then February, and now I'm going to reuse it for March. It's very light tackiness. At first I was worried it wasn't going to be sticky, but when you're just using it for paper, it works really well, which makes it really easy to rip off again. But that is ready to go onto my wall, and when I think of other things, I will put it on there, but that is pretty helpful for now. So that is the month plan done. And then what I do with this calendar is I like to archive it. So I'm just grabbing my Life Archives book, and I'll show you where I did it for January if I can find it. That's just what I did. So I just stuck it in like that, and I folded it over like this because it's scrap paper, and then I just rewrote highlights. Oh, I didn't rewrite that, that's the goals, but then I wrote highlights for the month here, but that's also in like another journal. It's just a quick reference for me, but I thought this was cute because I didn't want to throw out the calendar because I like the printable, and yeah, I just wanted to document what I did. So I'm going to do that now again on a new page. I was meant to journal about Kevin's birthday there, so I might put it on, yeah, this page works. Also, I'm so glad you cannot, it's a weird thing to say, see me or smell me, because I'm very sweaty. I'm very, very sweaty. Let me zoom out a bit. It is very hot in here. I think it's 33 degrees today in Australia, but yes, but I'm sweaty. Hopefully you cannot tell. And thank goodness you cannot smell me, because I do not smell pleasant either. Let's do that. Oh, Do I want to layer with anything? I don't want to go too crazy with the decorations, but maybe I want to layer. This box is getting out of hand. I know it's kind of exploding, but I am trying. I'm doing my best. I just hoard everything. I'm feeling something crafty. Maybe that goes behind. I would normally use a glue tape for this, but I ran out of glue. That's good enough. February, I might put a dot sticker. I do like my circle stickers. Ooh, or do I want to use a washi tape? Do I like that? I feel like it throws off the balance of the page a little bit. Does anyone do that? Stick it down and then just like take it off again? Because I do that all the time. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it. That's fine. Just leave it. Walk away. Walk away. Okay, and I might put a highlight like I did last time. I've got a bunch of seconds memo pads next to me. I might use one of those. That's kind of cute. Do I want to use washi? Okay, let's use a brown one. I've made my own solid colored washi, which I can't wait for it to arrive. It's going to be slightly darker than this one, and it's not going to have that texture at all. It's just a solid one. But I feel like I use plain colored washi all the time. So I wanted to have my own. That is way too long. That's too long. I don't hate that, but now I'm like, should I have put it on the side? Yes, I like that better. And then I will just write my highlights there. And my highlights come from my monthly view, which is this one. I mostly summarize it here, but I got into April Mellow Market. I bought a typewriter for $30. Oh, what is my writing doing? I usually write way more of a slant than this, but because I'm cramped for space, I'm writing really weird right now. I deferred my studies, which was very exciting. And I have not thought about that since I've done it, so I think that was the right decision. And planned journaling workshop. And finished Japan vlogs. Again, that was a big personal win for me to get that off my to-do list. And that's all I can fit, so I guess that's all the highlights that I'm writing down. If I had to think of my highlights without having something to refer to, there is no way I could remember all of this. So that's why personally I'd like to write everything down so that I can remember. But this is kind of cute. I feel like it's missing a sticker. Just a cute sticker here. I just don't know what to put. Oh, the sun is coming through the window and I'm just like sweating even more. I didn't know it was possible, but I'm sweating even more right now. Do I want to go with a cute umbrella? Umbrella? Did I say umbrella? I meant rainbow. Did I say umbrella? Whoops. Oh, it's cute, but I don't know. Does anyone else second guess stickers this much? I feel like I love when people just stick things down without any hesitation. And I'm always half sticking it down. It's not bad, but is it the vibe I want? I'm so sorry. Do not get annoyed at me. I'm doing my best. I'm a recovering perfectionist. Yeah, let's go with that. It's cute. It's one of my really old sticker sheets, so the cut lines are super off, but it's little. It adds something little, but I like that. Okay, that is done for the month. What I need to do now is plan out the week as much as I can. So I've already lost a post-it note, I'm pretty sure. There was a post-it note here. So the way I'm currently doing my week, it's not ideal, but I kind of write it in my daily and then also in my calendar, my Notion calendar. I'm not the biggest fan of relying on my digital calendar for tasks. I much prefer having something I can see in front of me. But what I do like to do is have like a running backlog that I just write on scrap pieces of paper of like the tasks to do for that particular week, and then I keep it in that week so I always see it. This is this week's one, so that's how I like to see the priorities. So that's what I want to do. Let me get some scrap paper. This is an old receipt from August 2022, so I can definitely use this, but I like to just cut it up into, I usually cut it up into separate pieces, but let me keep it together this time. So week 1, technically I've got covered by this, so I'll call this week 2. I've been waiting for this pen to die for so long, this bloody pink pen, but it won't die. Week 2, do I want to do week 3 this way? Week 3, week 4, and week 5. Okay, so week 2, I have to do the Dear Diary podcast episode, and I have to edit studio vlog, like post that studio vlog. To be determined, early access shop update. I think I might need to take photos that week as well, depending on when the washi tapes arrive. Take product photos, product listings, so everything really to get the shop update ready. Product listings, newsletter, like actual email newsletter. Let me write email. I don't know what happens to my writing, it just went like really really big, but that would all be, no, sorry, so the newsletter would actually be week 3 for the public shop update, which may be here. So week 3 should be newsletter to promote it, IG post. I should also post the March sticker reel. This week I should actually reach out to message podcast guest. The earlier I can get started on organizing that, like technically I should have already done that, finalized that, but I'm still very new. I've only ever done one interview on my episode, on my podcast, so I'm still working out the kinks in the process, but that's kind of week 2. So again, hopefully this shows like it's a little bit eye-opening of like, oh, there is so much I need to do in order to fulfill this one task, which is the shop update, which I haven't written down, but like it's not something that is obvious on a month view. So yes, planning for the month is great to give you the high level overview, but you really need to break it down in order to understand oh, this is everything I need to do this week in order to successfully complete my goals for that week. Let's just move on to week 3. I don't try to be perfect with it. If there's something that comes up that I think of later, then I would just add it in, but just a general guide so that when it comes to the week, like the Monday of that week, I'm not like flustered and trying to figure out what exactly I'm doing this week. I already have a general roadmap that I can use as a starting guide. For week 3, from the 11th, it'll be hopefully the shop update, so I need to do the newsletter for that on the day, the Instagram post for that. I would like to do some sort of sneak peek. That can go in week 2 as well, but let me just put it in week 3 so I don't stress myself out. Sneak peek post. I have a house inspection, like the real estate agent is coming to inspect the house because we rent on the Tuesday. So this week I probably need to do most of the tidying up and the cleaning, and that's probably when I should tidy the second studio. So I am giving it a deadline here. Tidy second studio, clean for inspection. Probably finalize, if I haven't already, finalize guest questions for the podcast interview. I don't know if I want to film it or film it already in that week. I feel like week 2 will be super busy. So again, this is why planning it like this really helps, because you can see what your workload is like and realistically be able to plan when you can do things. So I'm assuming this week is going to be jam-packed full of shop update prep. So week 3 maybe is the week I can actually film. I filmed a lot already, but I'm just going to write journal catch-up video. Journal catch-up vid. And I think that's it for that. Week 4 is unplanned interview, podcast episode, D-Diary episode, work on sticker club, well, finish the sticker club, finish April sticker club, and this already takes a few days. This will be either on the Thursday or Friday, and then I've got the D-Diary episode, so I think I'm going to leave that. I mean, this week I should also be doubling down on prep for market. I really should write that on the previous week as well to remind me that I have a market to prep for. I think that's fine for week 4 because that's pretty busy. Week 5, also prep for market. I have a business check-in on the Wednesday. I need to post the April printable. Why is my writing so big? Send out Q1 check-in. And April newsletter for Patreon. Something that I didn't write down that I know I need to do because it falls under this prep for workshop thing, I need to design the exclusive sticker and anything else attached to that for the workshop. So I think that might be... Week 4 is a bit too late for me because ideally I want to start selling it around here. Ideally I do it this week. I might have to prioritize doing it this week. Let me check this week. I definitely cannot do it today because I have to pack the order, but I think I will do it. Wait, that's tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow. Okay, where is my another random post-it note I was hoarding? Design workshop sticker. That definitely should be a priority for tomorrow because like I said, a lot of these are shop update things, but because I'm planning to delay that anyway, I think that's okay. And then week 5, yes, I already did that. I think that's pretty good. That's most of my planning. I feel like I have a really good idea of how my next month is going to go, what I like to do now is write in these tasks in my daily, because I feel like, well, it's on the calendar now. I feel like I'm kind of committing to it. So I'm going to write here. I put sticker club here, but technically on this date. And now I will move this. We don't really need this, but it still works, so I don't want to throw it out. I'll move it to the next month on a random date. There you go. I will write post sticker club. And then I like to use, for no reason at all, except that it's just fun to use, a little Patreon sticker to signify that it is a Patreon post. And so things like weekly update, I generally always do every Monday, so I will write that in, weekly update, sticker. And on the Tuesday, I already pre-wrote pay rent. I need to record the diary episode, and that's a Patreon task again, so sticker. It just makes things fun to be able to stick it out every time. Water plants. Sometimes I forget to water my plants, so I need that reminder. And then again, just scrap pieces of paper everywhere. I'm just writing down notes as they come up for like what I want to talk about in my Dear Diary episode. I record the Dear Diary episode. Oh wait, that didn't need a sticker because I'm just recording. I don't put the sticker unless I post something. So publish DD ep, and that gets a sticker. Sorry, you do not get a sticker here. Monday the 11th, another weekly update. And then no other tasks pretty much for the rest of the month. So I'm going to go to the 18th. And then record Dear Diary episode, and then publish Dear Diary episode. So past me would not have scheduled this in on the day because I've never really used a dated day planner before. But this makes it so easy to schedule tasks ahead, and I never even had a wall calendar. So previously I was just relying on a digital calendar, and like I don't check that all the time. I feel like when it's physical, I check it so much more. So I used to be late for my episodes so frequently because I just would lose track of my days, and I would be so much more reactive with my tasks. Like whatever came up was what I did. But I feel like this year and last year I'm much more proactive in like planning things out and working around deadlines so that I'm not late for them. And then I just have more of a structure, I think, to my days and my week. I know exactly what to expect. And finish sticker club. So I usually have a post-it note, and it usually says like work on sticker club, but I cannot find it, so I'm going to use this one. This one's just been floating around. Technically there is writing on this, but it's faint enough that I feel like I can still use it. Of course, I'm hoarding it. So finish sticker club by the 23rd, but I want to start working on it by the 19th, just so I know that this is the week. Work on sticker club. And that's pretty much it for that week. Again, I would be having this on week 4 here, so I would see that the unplanned podcast episode is also due technically this week. I would always have it here. But then the last week, the 25th of March, another weekly update. And then I should have an A club call. On this date. I don't know what time yet. It usually is 11 a.m, but I'm gonna leave it there. And then there should be a business check-in, as I have put here. This always changes because everyone has different like availabilities and different time zones, and then sometimes daylight savings kicks in, so I'm just gonna leave that as a tentative. That's why these little removable scrap pieces of paper are really helpful. And then 29th should be printable, which I have here. And then the 30th should be sent out the Q1 check-in. I will write that in. Send out Q1. And then monthly stats and content schedule. Content schedule is what I used to call it, but it is an April. Oh, no, what did I just do? April newsletter, which is a Patreon post, so it gets a sticker. And then I will move this to the next, whoops, I just lost it. There we go. Move it to the end of April. Why am I not holding on to this? And that's pretty much it. Mostly this was the most important part, just making sure I had the plan. So week 2 starts on the 4th. So I will make sure it is here. And then I just keep that wedged in. That's pretty much all I need to do for that plan, I think. I don't have any major, no, I lied. I do have one birthday I need to write down. It's my niece's birthday, and that'll be on the 23rd. So I need to make sure I leave that free. That's when I'm meant to be finishing the sticker club. But let me just rip off this scrap piece of paper and write down birthday party, question mark. So that is it, I think. Yeah, I feel like I have planned out my month and broken that down into the week based on my quarterly and my year plans. And that's all I can ask for, really. Just making sure I know exactly what is expected of me, of myself. But yeah, I always keep this on my desk in front of me, just like that. But that is it. I'm just gonna stick that on the wall. I just remembered that I wrote down, like I was planning out my monthly reset. Like this was 29th of January. I did that last month. So review the previous month, what went well, what needs work, progress on the quarterly one goals, fill out the Jan page, Feb goal. Yeah, I pretty much did that. Bookkeeping. Wait, why did I do this in January? I think I was just excited for it. So yes, bookkeeping is something that I would normally do. I think for this video, because it's already so long, I might leave that for now. I do that off camera anyway because it is private-ish. I mean, it's not private because I tell my workshop patrons, but I show them all my finances. But I don't show that on YouTube for privacy reasons. Not that I care, but there's a lot of prying eyes on YouTube that don't always have good intentions. So I like to keep that confidential for the people that really do care about, you know, the nitty gritty of my business. So if you are interested, my weekly updates do cover that. The first weekly update of every month is where I go into my finances, how much I made that month, like literally breaking it down to my Patreon, my Etsy, AdSense revenue, everything. There are some months where I do show the expenses, but typically I'm just pretty lazy, so I only show income. But I will need to just go through my statements. Like my process for the bookkeeping, I can share with you. I just go through my statements. I typically write down my expenses in my daily, every single day that it happens, and then I transfer it to my Notion calendar. And then it's just a matter of like reconciling that and totaling everything to see like how much in total I made from Patreon, how much in total I made from shop sales and all that. And then I just put it in a table to see that. It's not the most accurate values for tax time. And I know Australian tax is different to American tax, but the bookkeeping that I do for this is mostly so I know my financial position. It's not necessarily what I would report to the tax office because it's already minusing fees. It's not revenue, it's net income. So I would normally report revenue. But yes, that's my bookkeeping. I like to do that monthly, but I try to stay on top of that daily and weekly so that it's not a massive task by the end of the month. Then I plan the next month and then I break it down into the weeks. Yes, that's exactly what I did. Oh, so I have I have like a home reset. Like this is not, obviously I'm not going to show you this. I think other people in their YouTube videos will show more of a home reset video, but I wanted to do more of like a planning reset video. But I have already changed the bed sheets. I haven't cleaned the dishwasher and the washing machine yet, but that is a good reminder. These are like key monthly tasks. Everything else I kind of do like spread out throughout the month on different days so that I'm not just cleaning one massive day. I'm not batching all of my cleaning tasks into one day because I don't enjoy cleaning, so it's nice to split that up. But I am using a template on Notion to help keep track of like the last time that I cleaned something or changed something. And then I guess the very last thing would be like a digital declutter to back up the photos on my phone, to just delete old photos or screenshots, and to declutter my downloads folder, and a 5-minute inbox clean. I will probably do that again off camera because I feel like I'm not super prepared for this video. My desk is super messy and right now I just need to pack this order. So this is not the most extensive monthly reset video, but hopefully it was just a good introduction into how I do plan my month, plan my week, plan my days. But I feel like what I just did there with you, like the 30 minutes to an hour, that really sets the tone for the rest of the month. And like it seems like it takes a lot of time, but that saves me so much time throughout the month. So I really like doing it. I feel like I'm much more panicked and stressed and overwhelmed when I don't do that. And like now that I've done it, I feel so much more calm. I know exactly what I need to do next week and the week after. Like I just can focus on doing things one at a time, take it day by day, because I've already planned out the next week. I know that I'm on schedule and that, you know, there's enough wiggle room between tasks so that it's not a big deal if I can't get something done. But I have a general guide that my past self has set for me, so I know what I need to do in order to try to stay on task. But if you want a closer look at this, I would recommend you to figure out your own, list monthly reset. I don't think there's a right way to do it. I think everyone's lives are really different. I forgot to also add, I'm realizing now, the monthly stats. Definitely got to add monthly stats so I know how much my Instagram and my YouTube has grown by. Again, I say this every time, they are arbitrary numbers. I do not put so much weight on them. It's just a fun thing to track. I just do like tracking growth. And so if you find that you get very disheartened, you're not in a good place where you can track your stats, please don't do this. Like, know yourself well enough to know what you can and cannot handle. And if the thought of tracking your monthly stats stresses you out, don't do it. There's no hard or fast rule on how you should be doing your monthly reset, but the goal should be the same. You should have a clear mind. You should feel less overwhelmed. You should have more clarity about how exactly your next month will go. You have your goals that you've set for the month. And if you're doing YouTube, you even have your YouTube content, planned out. The whole idea is not to stress you out. The whole idea is so that you feel more calm and relaxed and prepared. So that is always what the goal of your monthly reset should be. It should not stress you out. It should take the stress out of doing these tasks. Because I know if I didn't do this, I'm going to wake up and get to this day and be like, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's already halfway through the month and I haven't done anything that I thought I would do. This is just your past self putting in the work for your future self in order to make sure that you are doing everything that you said you wanted to do and to make it as easy for yourself as possible to do those things. But I think that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. It is slightly a boring one, I feel, and I apologize for that. I hope in the next video I will, show my face, talk a little bit more on camera and just make it a little bit more engaging. It's not just you staring at my hands and my books. But thank you anyway for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you to set up your monthly plan as well. No matter how sparse it is, you just have a roadmap for something. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.